kind of be half in, half out. I'm fast forwarding a little bit. Right around that, this was right around the same time that whenever I figured out that she was pregnant, that was like September of 2016. And right after that, that's whenever crypto finally started moving. Because remember, like rewind a while, I had bought a bunch of crypto. But I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, right? So I had bought all this stuff and I started seeing it, like people talking about it. You know, it was not the same crypto Twitter as it is now.
Was it in a cold wallet or was it like
no? It was stored? So it was blockchain. You know, have you heard of the app called Blockchain? There's still a wallet, but it back then it was like one of the only ones. I didn't even know what a cold storage was back then. You know, this is when Binance. I don't know if you guys know what Binance is. You could get Binance, like you could get Binance in the US. You can still, it's Binance US, but back then it was just regular Binance. Anyway, I use Binance. What I'm saying that is I use Binance, But yeah, around that time, crypto started moving, right before, like after I figured I was gonna have a kid. So it was like, oh, this is perfect. Like I'm gonna make money in this. I started really researching at this point. Like, oh, this is why they use it, because I just knew they used it on the Silk Road. I didn't even think nothing of it. Like I thought it was just some like illegal crime money. That's what my brain thought of Bitcoin was. So I ended up just realizing like, okay, I can maybe have something else to do other than this weed stuff. By the time my daughter had been born, the whole bull run had happened because my daughter was born in May 2017, right? Okay. So I had or no, that's not accurate. The bull run part, the bull run hadn't already unfolded. The bull run was in 2018, but I had made a bunch of money from when I had bought still with Bitcoin, right? Gotcha. So at this point, I was already thinking of like, how do I get out? How do I go back home? How do I, quit all this stuff? So I stayed out for the farm for the first year my daughter was alive. But in that whole time, I was, researching about crypto, learning about how I can make money from trading. I hadn't really started trading yet, but I was trying to learn of all these different ways to make money online with different things other than the game, right? So once I actually finally hit super crazy, at that point, that's whenever I decided I was like, I'm going to move home, right? Because I had a bunch of money. I'm going to go home. I'm going to just make this.
You got tired of the farming? Is that what it was?
Nah, to be honest, man, I wasn't really tired of it. I was just tired of like the shit that came with it. Because like people was getting robbed and killed. Like that was a huge thing out there. So I was in Calaveras County, which is like, it's not Humboldt, but it's like the second kind of, it's kind of like Humboldt, meaning it's out in the country, dude. Like, it's not like people getting, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy, Seth. I just saw Seth in the chat. Anyway, shout out Seth. That's my homie. He could tell you all this shit's 100. He was there for that. But where was I at?
You were saying you had to leave because it started to get dangerous.
Oh,
and you made a bunch of money on crypto.
Right. Yes, a lot of people was like getting robbed and killed, and it was just, the farming was cool. Like after I got good at it, it was actually fun because it's hard. And anything you get good at that's hard, like it's cool. It's fulfilling, right? Like you build a whole farm. Like it was a quarter acre of canopy, which is like a pretty big area. I had ran all the irrigation systems. It's not just like some Joe Smo shit. You got to really know what you're doing. Yeah. So it was cool. I enjoyed it. After I got good at it, first I hated that shit. But it was hard work. And then everybody started getting robbed. I remember there was a bunch of people got killed. They were like set up by their trimmers. It just wasn't. It's not something you want to do when you have a kid. And I didn't do it at my house. Like I had another house that was at. Never brought anything back to like where she was at. But you got a baby in the house, bro. Yeah. Like what kind of scumbag are you to keep? Like, because people always want to like make it sound like you can play both parts. And I used to at that point. I used to think I could play both parts, but like I knew deep down I had to get the fuck out of there, right? So eventually,
were you still selling at this point, or no? You're just straight farming.
Yeah, but it was like in Cali, it's different, bro. Okay. It's like a different like. Everybody's selling weed out in certain cities. Calaveras County, bro, everybody's selling weed. Like, not even like what you think of some weed is here. Like, they look at it like it's like fucking, like tomatoes or something. Not like that. You know what I'm saying? Though,
yeah. Like, it doesn't have the same stigma.
Yeah, everybody's got like a family member that's in a farm. Yep. Right? Yep. But, so fast forward.
Go back to Tennessee?
Yeah, well, I'd made a bunch of money just getting lucky, right? And what's funny, the one thing I did right was I sold pretty damn close to the top. Which is kind of funny, right? Because like most people, they get rich and they just hold it all the way back down. I held it back some of the way down. But I remember selling. I was like, this is perfect. And I really thought in my head, that I had it figured out. Like I was like, dude, this is like meant to be. This is destiny. Like I'm getting out of the game right when I figure out how to do this. I remember I was watching Trading 212 videos, which is like it's like a trading YouTube, but it's like it's the most base level fucking I mean, it's cool if you know absolutely nothing, but they just basically take every single strategy that was ever talked about and make a video on it. So you think they're all good, right? So I remember I was watching all these videos, figured out, okay, cool, like bull flags and ascending. I remember I was just trading like chart patterns. Those are basically just really basic ways. Like, I could teach you that in 5 seconds. They don't really work that well though, right? So, but I thought, okay, cool. Like, I've learned the way. I've got a bunch of money. Cool. I'll risk like $5,000 a trade. That's good risk management, which is like crazy. It's not good risk management. But you know, I thought I had it figured out, right? So when I moved back, I also was still trapping and stuff. Like, I was still doing all that. But I was trying to be like half in, half out, right? So I was making some money trading, but I was losing it. But I was like also making money from the street stuff. So it was kind of like you kind of drown yourself out. So it's like a slow burn, but you don't really realize what's happening. Like, I thought, okay, you're just learning. It's okay. You're only down like 30 grand. It's okay. It's okay. Right? And then I remember I thought crypto was going to make like another bull run. So I bought back into a bunch of crypto, like held it, and ended up plummeting. So lost a bunch more money. Then I kept trying to trade it, and it was just like a slow and sure
battle.
Yeah, it was like it was like, you know, 1 step forward, 3 steps back. This influencer, his name's the CastleClub. A lot of people probably know who he is. He's pretty famous in LA. You know who he is? Yeah. So the CastleClub, and he's like a legitimate, you know, brand. Like, he's out with rappers and all this stuff, and he throws these pop-ups. But I remember he used to do promos on his story. Like, people would pay him to do promo. I remember, I'll never forget. I saw this promo, and I'd already been thinking about like, oh, how am I going to learn how to trade? I was buying all sorts of courses. This is before I really knew what a Discord community was. Okay, so this is 2020, right? What I'm talking about right now is like September, October 2020. Crypto was starting to like heat up again. I put a bunch of money in Bitcoin. I was like, you know, this is going to happen. So I see this ad for a trading group. And they're like, you know, streaming the screen and showing all the people in chat making money. It's like this Discord chat. I didn't even know what Discord was. And I was like, shit, this is fucking perfect. Like, this is it. It's a sign from God. Like, my ass really thought that. I was like, this is a sign, right? So I remember I immediately slid up on it, messaged the person. Shout out Playboy. This dude literally changed my life. I don't know. He might be watching, but I remember I slid up, and he had started this little group. It was like I think at that time it was like 125 or something per month, something cheap. Joined it, and all these people were new to trading at this point. All these people had been, you know, like they came in with the COVID craze. So they didn't really know how to trade. I had been trading for years, even though I wasn't that good at it at this point. But I had a lot of experience, so I had kind of cemented myself as like an authority figure in the chat, right? I was like one of the first members. Then this group ended up blowing up. I got really big, bro. Like, I remember they had like probably like 2,000 or 3,000 paying members at one time.
Wow.
Right? And when I joined, it was like 100, right? So I was also really tolerant to risk, which most people weren't. So like, I would, you know, start to post trades where I was like super risked, making a bunch of money. People would, you know, ask me questions. And I remember Playboy, he really knew what he was doing. And he started to teach me how to trade. Bro literally like mentored me one-on-one. I was paying to do like $100, fucking crazy. But he taught me like, okay, this is how you actually treat trading like a business. This is how you manage risk. All the little things that I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't know to do these things this whole time because I had just thought about like, oh, you find a strategy, you make money, right? But once I learned all of the nuance in the game of trading like a business, immediately I started making money. Because it was just like I had that missing piece. And it also was kind of like, you know how you have that intuitive feeling when you've been working at something forever, you finally get it? Like, I knew it. I was like, this is it. So I started going balls to the wall with like, I was managing my risk, but I had a lot of money to throw at stuff, right?
Right.
So I remember I ended up doubling my account, like did it all publicly. At that point, he was like, okay, I want you to start teaching everybody else in the chat, right? So he told me, okay, if you post your trades in a chat, I'll give it to you for free, like the membership. But wasn't even paying me. I didn't even want no money though. Because at this point, you know, I'm out here in Cali, I've got no friends. I've cut off everybody from my life. I'm waiting at any point. I'm like, I'm going down. I didn't know if I was or not. I deep down knew, right? So this to me meant everything. Like, I latched onto this shit, and it literally was my world, bro. Like, trying to master this, you know, in this community of people, right? It was like my brotherhood, and it was crazy because it's like, you guys ever play Call of Duty when you was a kid?
Yeah, of course.
You're like, imagine Modern Warfare, but you're making money.
Yeah.
That's how this shit was for real, bro. Like, you know, everybody would just shit in the voice chat. I mean, it was a beautiful thing, to be honest, you know. None of us really, we were all trying to, you know, kind of come up. And a lot of people from that chat now have came up crazy, which is insane. But, you know, I would post trades, helped a lot of people, like, you know, teach them stuff. Because all these people, again, were new to trading because of COVID.
Yeah.
So once I started really locking in, and like that's all I did, bro. I literally I was in Discord. I was, creating like educational material for the group. I was live streaming my trades, and we would just live stream because it was crypto. We would just live stream like 10 p.m., midnight. We're just hanging out, chilling, right? So I started making a lot of money in there, and everybody was learning. Everybody was making money with me. Everybody was hyped. Like the energy is peak. Like this is the peak energy going into 2021, right? Everything's changed. Like I've made it. Like I'm the happiest ever, right? I'm like telling my parents, like I actually figured it out this time, because before, they thought I was there like this motherfucking gambling addict. Yeah, he ain't figured shit out. You know what I mean? Because